I tell you what, if there was any time to see us in the green room, that tonight would be the night because I mess up, hit the news and events. I'm scrambling around. Red's laughing at me while I'm trying to find the actual button to click to show the opening show. And then once it's going, I'm sitting here dancing.
But no, it's kind of like how we are today, like we're both running on like no sleep, and we're functioning. We're functioning, and that's
We
how
are
that
functioning.
represents our life right there.
You know, I cannot say how appreciative I am of you of setting up, deciding what we're doing tonight, setting up all of the posts and everything because
Hmm.
after this past weekend, I'm still running on exhaustion.
Hmm.
Plus, I was bad sick. You've been
Oh
bad
yeah.
sick.
Mm.
That's we both have been sick. Morgan is sick on top of
Uh-oh.
her ankle and her elbow now as well. But that's enough of the
Negative.
negative stuff.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
I mean,
positives
yes.
is okay. Positives we get to hear about whiskeys. Duh, that's a positive. Okay, so I'm going to show my appreciation back to you. So this is kind of like your baby, and I'm calling it your baby. Like you have I have certain things that are my baby. You have certain things that are your baby. And one thing that has been your baby and your dream for ever in a hot minute is to actually produce a magazine. I mean, you've written for magazines, but you've actually wanted to produce and edit and do the whole thing. And we have a baby coming, and it's typically your baby. I get custody on the weekends of it, but it's the first ever Leaf and Grain magazine. Now, when you hear about podcasts and people putting out magazines, you're normally hearing about like 20, 30 pages. You're not really thinking of magazine. But a true magazine is going to have over 40 something pages. It's going to have feature articles. It's going to have different things, advertisement. Y'all, this is legit. And I'm going to tell you because it's not that I haven't been supportive, I don't think. But it's mainly, I said, okay, let's do it because I know it was something special to Graybeard and it was something that he was always wanted. So he has done a fabulous job. It is just like, I mean, I know it's not 9 o'clock, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's fucking phenomenal. I mean, some of us get to see it, and I'm a little bit more privy to most, where I get to see a lot more. But I got tears in my eyes seeing this shit, y'all. And for those who don't know me, you know that I'm not like one of an emotional person. So for me to get tears in my eyes and to see this, it's a beautiful thing. It's something that I mean we've all worked hard on, but Graybeard has gone above and beyond. I think he's donated his kidneys, his livers, and even his heart. So he might be the Grinch for Christmas this year. So, but I just can't wait for it to see it completely done. So, and that's part of our news segment and events coming. Is we can mention that, but I just kind of wanted to give you kudos and props because as you said, we've both been down and out, and uh, I haven't been really coherent to respond to text. Like I didn't even know you texted me. I think it was, yeah, you texted me this morning, I guess, or last night.
No,
I had to,
I texted you last night asking how you
yeah.
were feeling after you and I were going back and forth, about the article and about
Mm-hmm.
the images and that our
Mm-hmm.
conversation because everybody and I really appreciate the call out on that because that means a lot to me. But everybody has been so appreciative of everything of what we're doing. Hey, Sanj, and speaking of SP Sanj Patel, Joe Galino, who writes for us and also writes for Whiskey
Yay!
Network, did a review, a pairing review, which is just I can't say anything about it because I don't want to give it away, but a pairing review of this guy's cigar right here.
Wow.
We're going to have where we originally thought we were going to have four cigar reviews.
Yeah,
We got 6.
Portugal. 6. Woo woo.
We got 6 cigar reviews. We've got 2 cigar pairings. We've got 2 wine reviews, 2 whiskey reviews. I just got in before we had to close up to head down to this here. The article from Stephen Day, a writer who's in the UK
Beer.
on
I'm
craft
super
beer.
stoked. I'm super stoked. Super stoked. I love my beer.
It's not 1. It's not 2.
3?
It's 3 stouts.
Ah! Sorry, I know that was loud,
And I got to tell you, I've been putting that one together. We have got the review of the Barn Smokers from Drew Estates.
Mm-hmm.
A highlight of that from when Zach Cigar Traveler, he got to go to 3 of the 5 this year.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We've got the review of the Farmers to Chef event that I went to, and the review of what we're here to talk about tonight.
Yes.
The
I'm
review
excited.
of Whiskey Fest Las Vegas.
Yes. Because here's the thing, is a lot of people, whenever they come up, in a lot of cigar shops and brokers and, cigar, owners message me and they're like, hey, Red, is PCA worth it? Like, what do you get out of PCA? Because, yeah, you get the highlights, you get some people's perspective, but I think whenever it's coming from a media perspective and you go to these events and you do these things, it's, we're not having the same expectations that other people have. You don't know about these events. These events are expensive. It's not cheap. So I think it's like great that we're doing these because we can kind of give a non-biased outsider's opinion, from a different point of view. And that way, if someone wants to go to it in the future, they will be able to know if it's worth their money or not.
Or
pick at it. Yeah.
Believe me, the PR agencies, as a media company, the PR agencies that send us to these.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got home on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, she's messaging me and saying, "Hey, we want to know where, when and where we're going to make sure to send us, your write-ups of the event. We're excited to hear about it." And so when I told her that that is going to be a write-up featured on the website and in the magazine, just like, so stoked. And thank you to everybody who went out there. If any of you are watching this right now, because our followers, our subscribers and followers on our YouTube show has gone up. The followers and likes on our Facebook page has gone up. And I think we have gone up by 20 new members in our Facebook group.
Yeah, it's like
and that's
ding,
all
ding,
from this
ding.
event.
I don't mind getting those dings at school.
No,
when I'm
no,
working.
those are. I mean, I was
those are
like,
good dings.
well, see, I've got our Facebook group automated so that when 3 people are invited, that it automatically creates the post. So I don't have to go and create those posts every time. Well,
that's nice.
I was like, am I getting doubles and triples on this? Because we get a post, bam, we get a post,
yeah.
bam, we get a post. We got like 3 of them within a 2-hour period.
Yeah.
And they were all different people.
They were. And it's not from 2 different people of the same company, of the same page. So that part was really cool.
So we got a pairing because, I mean, we are the Twisted Pair. And welcome, everybody. If you're new to the show, thank you. Welcome to our show. We love it. I am here live at the UG, and I wish you could see what I've got going on the other side of me, because I've got 2 beautiful ladies that are enjoying the fire out here at the UG. This is the Underground in Fort Worth. It's a beautiful evening. We got a pairing. So what are you bringing?
I'm bringing like one of my favorite brands out there that I think that kind of gets passed over is Aventura. So hint.
Yes.
Coming to a magazine near you.
coming to a magazine near you.
Um,
That is right. And what a Red, what a piece. What
thank
a
you,
piece that you wrote up on that. That is just
thank you.
I'm excited about the magazine. Sorry to get back on the magazine, but I'm just I'm so stoked about it. I mean, it's like you're
Yeah,
right. It's like my baby. It's like my dream coming true. I've
yeah.
gotten to read every single article multi times over because I'm editing them and formatting them
Hmm.
and getting them all in, and I'm just excited for everybody to get to see what we've got. But anyways, I
Yeah.
interrupted you.
Yes, and then look at that, my little baby bottle, because I
It's
don't
a
feel like
Penelope
adulting.
White.
Penelope White, 4 grain, corn, rye, wheat, malted barley. So straight bourbon whiskey. So I'm having this, and like some of y'all know that normally I pour from a bigger bottle, but if I have a bigger bottle, I might pass out.
Right?
And then I'm drinking from my Glencairn that Joe got me. So there I go. So I don't know how this is going to pair. I think it's going to pair well. The Navigator is one of like it's a big statement from Adventure. It's one of so anyway. So I'm
It
anxious to see.
the Navigator is a great cigar. I am a big fan of everything that Adventura puts out. They're such great people.
Hmm.
Um, so you're
If I can open up my bourbon. Okay. Anyway.
okay. So all right. Here's the first hint of what I'm doing. So I've got the blackened M80, and this is the Petite Corona,
Hmm.
and this is such a good cigar.
Oh, it is. It was one that knocked my socks off. Not gonna lie.
Well, I am pairing that with
Ding 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 ding.
Black, and this is their original release,
Hmm.
and they were at the Whiskey Fest, and I've also
Oh
got
yeah.
Red.
Yes. Hold on. Oh man, that looks cool. You know, that would look really cool on me. He's like, no. Speaking of things that would look really cool on me, look what I found.
Are you good? Are you pulling out the blackened? Hey, the leaf and grain bandana,
Not bandana, our beanie.
our
Yeah,
beanies.
yeah. I like put it out here because it's kind of chilly, you know, because I smoke with my garage door open, and I was like, I need my head to be
Now,
warm.
if you want to know how this pairing that I'm doing actually is, then what I
Is it a
want you to
magazine?
do, mark it, because at the end of the month, in the other
Mm-hmm.
magazine I write for, the one that Joe and I also write for, Whiskey Network, I am doing my first ever, I'm doing my first ever cigar pairing for Whiskey Network.
Woo
It is
woo!
Blacken on Blacken. Because if you
Black
haven't
on
gone
black.
out to whiskey-network.com, go out to whiskey-network.com because this month we are featuring everything Metallica and Blacken for the Whiskey Network magazine. So definitely go out and see that. Um, all right, let's get into this. Let's get right into this because Chris just started right off the bat.
I
What was
know.
what
He's
was
like,
my favorite
shut
pour?
up. I already hear about it.
Well, okay, I absolutely loved. Yeah, thank you, Joe. WhiskeyNetwork.net. I absolutely love Blacken's pours because I had a few of them. The cast strength batch 3 was just so good. But my favorite pour was Waterford Irish Whiskey.
Oh yes.
All of them.
All of
Now,
them.
all of them was just phenomenal. Here's why.
Mhm.
Waterford Irish Whiskey is doing something that speaks to us because they're basing their blends off of what the terroir is giving them. the fermentation. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the fermentation process, the age, the copper stills to the column stills on
Mm-hmm.
all of their pours is exactly the same. The
Hmm.
only difference is what they're getting out of the ground based upon the terroir.
I love that. I'm already a fan and I haven't
Phenomenal,
tasted it.
phenomenal pours. They've got the single farm origin, which was really good, but the cuvee was just out of this world good. Um, so yeah, that goes hands down as my favorite pour.
And see, and that's the thing. It's like, how many pours did you have? So
Oh my,
for the people who like don't, they're not sure how many people go. They're not really familiar with it. How many pours would you say you had?
okay, so you will probably want clarification on what I'm about to
Yeah,
say.
let me say that. How many different whiskeys did you think you tried and scotches and adult beverages did you sip or try in one day, or the total amount
Just in one day, or just in one day, or at the
at the
whiskey
event?
fest.
But yeah, at the whiskey fest. Let me rephrase that
I
because
I had
it's different.
I had 32,
32.
32 that I know of that I remember. Now keep in mind these weren't full ounce pours, ounce and a half
Right. That's
pours.
that's why. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
these were like quarter ounce pours.
Mhm.
Okay, but let's just say if you take 32 and they were quarter ounce pours, every single one of them, and you divide that by four, that's 8 ounces of alcohol, 8 ounces of whiskey. And and we're talking anything, anywhere from, Westland was out there, um, um, Uncle Nearest was there, Michter's was
Mhm.
there. We talked about Waterford, Charles Goodnight, Texas Straight Bourbon, which
Mm.
we did a press release on them
Mhm.
a couple months ago. They were out there. Frey Ranch, oh my goodness, Frey Ranch single malt smoked. Whew, the Frey Ranch, for a Nevada distillery, this is a micro distillery out of Carson City,
Mhm.
Nevada. They are just doing some amazing work out there. They've got a 4 grain, they've got their rye, they've got their bourbon, and now they're coming out with a single malt,
Mhm.
just out of this world. Glen Dolog, their rose gin was good. Their pirate still, um, pirates, I mean, pot still was just,
I was like, pirates still. What's that?
I, I'm exhausted.
You're thinking of adventurer stuff. See, I
Yeah.
brainwashed you.
Um, Johnny Walker was there, but I got to tell you about what I saw. Okay. So we started out the day. First we walked over from, we were at, this was all at the Resort World, which is on one
Mhm.
end of the strip.
Yeah.
We walked about a mile and a half down to the Venetian. And we went into the store called Spirits and Spice. And
And everything nice. Sorry.
what they have is all small batch blends that they put together
Mm.
themselves. Whether
Oh,
it's
cool.
whiskeys, it's whiskeys, it's liqueurs, it's cordials, it's oils. All of these are their own blends that they put together,
Mhm.
and just out of this world. I mean, really good. So we're sitting there trying some samples on it,
Mhm.
and my friend Sharon, who's with me, she's not a Scotch
Mhm.
person at all, and they had this four. Well, she's not an Islay Scotch person. They had this blend of four different Isleys brought together, and tried that, and I tried it and had her try it, and she could not. She argued with me, saying that that wasn't an Islay.
She's like,
But
it can't be because I like it. Like, Carrie,
exactly, it's
that
exactly what she
yeah.
said.
She says it can't be because I like it. because there's some that you don't like. You have that certain mind that it's going to taste. You have that in your mind that it's going to taste a certain way. So if it doesn't taste exactly what your mind is saying it should, you're like, no, you're lying to me. It's not an island.
It's well, I mean, it tasted like it was a lowlands, but it was an island. It was for sure an island. You could pick up a little bit of smoke on the nose. You could pick a
Uh-huh.
little bit of the peat on it, but it was blended so beautifully together. So from there, we went to the Mob Museum there in
Mhm.
downtown off the Strip, and it was 3 floors, all covering the history from back in the 1800s all the way through current time of the history of the mafia,
Hmm.
organized crime across the United States.
That's cool because I'm going to say this: the mafia was big for our alcohol and providing our alcohol during Prohibition.
Exactly. Well,
So there, it
it,
kind of
in
fits
the
in there.
in the museum, and I posted this picture on my Instagram account.
Hmm.
In the museum was this glass wall of different bottles from the 1880s and 1860s and the 1910s, up to the Prohibition period.
Okay.
And there was a bottle of the John Walker red,
Hmm.
not Johnny Walker, the John Walker. So this is before they changed their name to Johnny Walker. And it was
Hmm.
a full bottle, and the date on the bottle was 1880.
Yeah, that's like insane to me. I think that's so like First of all, I didn't realize it had been around that long.
Well, I mean, I knew it had been around that long, but I never knew that it was
The
called the
name.
John Walker. And
Hmm.
two, I never figured you would see
A full
a,
bottle, right?
a full bottle that old. I mean,
Yeah.
so after that, at the basement of the museum was a speakeasy. Go figure. I mean, you go up to the door, you knock on the door, they slide
Hmm.
in, and she goes, "Password." I mean, she's yelling it, and
Hmm.
you have to know the password, which you can only get from the website, and they let you in.
Hmm.
So, tried a couple of different drinks and had a flight of moonshine.
Hmm.
So that's when the
Oh
drinking.
yeah, how did that go? If you had a flight of moonshine, because like I
They,
will
they
tell
were
you,
they, they,
you
they
can't.
were
Sometimes
they
you
were
can't.
just. I mean, the glasses were little sips,
Oh, okay.
but there was a huckleberry moonshine, a vanilla bean and honey, a
Oh.
ginger, and then a standard.
Hmm.
And all of them were really good. Um, had a peach and carrot based sidecar.
Hmm.
Oh wow, it was unreal good. So remember, I said that's where the drinking started.
Hmm. That's where it started. What
That's where
time of
it's.
day was this?
This was noon.
Okay. And then
Okay,
you had till what time? I want to know what time the party ended. You gotta give the deets on that.
the party ended. The event ended about 9 o'clock, and I don't remember.
I
All I
don't.
know is,
You sound like how I was. Like I think it was Saturday.
well, see, from there we went back to the resort, and we met up with Gabe
Yeah.
at the 8. Well, in between there, we stopped at this one place that had a whiskey infused ice cream, and so we had some of the
Mhm.
whiskey infused ice cream, and
You gotta try that.
I had an
Yeah.
old fashioned ice cream.
Huh. I bet that was pretty good.
It was
I've never
really good.
thought about it as like infusing my ice cream. Well, I can't eat ice cream, but I've never thought about like infused ice cream before. That's pretty
Well,
cool. A
For,
snow
for,
cone, yes, but not ice cream.
so after that we went to the Eight, which is a cigar lounge and bar. And Ed gave there. I picked up a couple of cigars. We went out on the back patio because it was such a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
And looking through the menu, and I picked out a whiskey sour, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a perfect whiskey sour. So the classic recipe with the
Mm-hmm.
Demetre, or however you say it, that sugar
Yeah.
and an egg white
Mm-hmm.
on top, so to create that foam. Gabe had a mezcal old fashioned,
Oh, okay.
and
Huh.
then Sharon is a sparkling rosé drinker, and so
Mm-hmm.
she had her sparkling rosé. And uh, after that, I had the mezcal old fashioned,
Mm-hmm.
and the manager of the bar came out and started talking to us and introduced them, to who we were and such.
Mm-hmm.
And he comped us one of their really nice old fashions that was made with
Uh-huh.
two with a blend of two different 8-year old
Mm.
bourbons.
Yummy.
Brought out the glass for me, gave it to me, and said, "This one's on me." Brought out the bottles, and then poured me a pour of each. I'm talking a lot, so
Oh, wow. No, I just wanted to show off my ass.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
So had had that.
Okay, so what did you think? Okay, so I'm going to pause you for a minute and ask because you had the drink first, then you broke it down and you had each bourbon. Was there one particular bourbon that showed through the drink versus the other,
There
or were they
was.
complementary?
Nope, they were both very good,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna pull up the one that was just,
That knocked your socks off.
yeah,
That
that
was
knocked
stood
my
out.
socks off was the eight select barrel series barrel pick by them by Eight Cigar
Mm-hmm.
Lounge of rare character.
Huh.
And that one was just really good. And then the other bottle that they brought out was the You Must Never Hesitate, which
Hmm.
is a it's almost like an artisan series type. I don't know who
Yeah.
does it, but you've seen them where
Mm-hmm.
they've got like the blue chalkboard type
Mm-hmm.
label on it, and it looks like they've scribbled the name of it
Mm-hmm.
on chalk. So
Yeah,
that
that's
that
it's
was it.
that one. So yeah, that one's definitely artisan. That one. Yeah. So and
But
that's one thing is like I think it's like whenever you drink and they say it's got this and this and this, usually you're tasting it as it's blended, but then to kind of go back and deconstruct what was constructed for your cocktails, right?
yeah,
And you can see if one shines through and exactly how what can change throughout the drink, if that makes sense.
yeah, and you got to keep in mind by the time we get to this point, I'm already one, two, three, four, 5 drinks in,
Yeah.
and I'm not
Plus
talking.
ice cream.
But yeah, which that was only 0.5%. That
That's a
that was that
disappointment.
was one proof. Um, but I'm already 5 drinks in by the time we get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I've had to eat all day long is 2 sliders.
Uh, didn't we had this discussion? I thought before you left about you eating. Just saying.
Joe says that the You Must Never Wait bottle is $100
Oh
bottle.
wow. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
I want to say that they both were right around that $150 bottle price, because I know Rare Character is up there as well.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this takes us up to 5:30.
Mm-hmm. Oh
The
dang.
the event started at 5:30 for
Mm-hmm.
VIPs. So we get up there, we get our press passes, we get our bags, we start going in and start checking things out. Very first one that I come up to is blackened.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I am using my cheat sheet because, like I said,
That's
I
a
don't.
lot. It's a lot of information in a very small amount of time. So you have to, you know, I'm going to pull
Well,
this up so I can see.
30,
So,
30 vendors,
mm-hmm.
um, with anywhere from 5 to 6 pours per vendor. So
You
at
have to
Black
have the sheet.
at Black and I had volume number 3 cast strength and Wes Henderson both right there.
Ooh.
Which and I had the flagship. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
drinking right now. This is the flagship, and I had Rabbit Hole. What was so funny is while we're standing there, in line. And they let the regular admission come in just like almost right after VIP, so we didn't get our full VIP hour, which that was okay. It just meant that by the time I got to some other ones, like by the time I got back over to Doers, the 21-year-olds were gone. By the time I got to Kentucky,
Oh, man.
some of the VIPs were already gone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't get I didn't wasn't able to get the 20-year-old from Michter's because it was gone, but I've had it
Mm-hmm.
before. So I wasn't hurt that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get those because I had them before, and my big thing was
Right.
I wanted to try what I'd never had.
Mm-hmm.
So just and I remember I told you I had like 32 pours.
Yeah.
I had 32 pours of stuff I'd never had before.
See, to me, I thought that would be almost near impossible. But in reality, when you think about it, think about first mind is like think about how many different cigars are out there. There's thousands upon thousands, and there are thousands upon hundreds of thousands of Scotch and whiskeys and spirits, and but it's some of them are only allocated to certain areas, and then some of them, not everybody's going to carry it because it may not be their consumer's taste. So, I mean, that had to be pretty exciting to like taste something that you hadn't had before. Was there something
Yeah,
that you had never seen or come across or read about? See, that's my question.
that's what that was in with Waterford. I mean, I had heard of them, but I
Right.
didn't know what they were about.
Mhm.
Had no idea what they were about, and was so fascinated by them. And Gabe and I
Mhm.
sat there and talked with them for a good 30 minutes. Just about everything that they were. Joe asked if Gordon and MacPhail was there. Gordon
Mhm.
and MacPhail is a distributor, and they handle a number of different brands. No, they weren't there. They handled Doers last year. Doers themselves was there. Gordon and MacPhail wasn't.
Hmm.
Gordon and MacPhail last year brought out the Doers 27-year-old, which was
Ooh.
great. The Doers had the 21-year-olds, which is still a great pour,
Right.
just did not have it. Uh, Glenn Murray was there. Compass Box was there. Mary Dowling was out there, which I that's one that I never heard of before.
Mhm.
And both their high rye bourbon tequila finish and the double oak bourbon barrel strength were good,
Mhm.
but not that they weren't ones that we would describe as memorable. Hey, Noble.
Yeah.
So I got to give
When
a shout out to Noble Bowman. This
yeah.
is a guy that I went to high school with and graduated high school with a long time ago. So good to see you there, brother. Middle West was out there, and I first got my first introduction to Middle
Mhm.
West last year at the Eight Lounge.
Mhm.
So while I'm sitting there at the lounge at the bar, I'm looking at bottles that I had never seen. And so I'm asking the bartender about them, and she's like, "Well, nobody asked about that one." I said, "Well, let's bring it in here.
Let's
Give me a."
try it.
And so
Yeah,
she's, "Okay,
it's left out.
I'll give you an industry discount for it." And so that's where I tried the sweet wheat. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mark. Mark Pruitt from he's a senior editor, publisher, guy who pretty much runs Whiskey Network for us.
Hmm.
He's out there with us. The Olorosa wheat, Middle West Olorosa wheat,
Hmm.
is so good. And Olorosa, if I remember right, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Olorosa is a type of wood, or it's a type of sherry cask. And so
Hmm.
that would, if I remember right, I'm thinking that they finished it off in an Olorosa, in an Olorosa cask there. That was good. Compass Boss was out there. Um, oh, you're familiar with Widow Jane, right?
Yes, I am. Like everybody always asks, "Have you had Widow Jane?" And I'm like, "I am Widow Ash." No, I'm just kidding.
Lucky 13
Hmm.
and Decadence. Both of those were VIP hours, and both great pours.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's hard when you go to an event like this.
Hmm.
So we're walking into a large event hall
Hmm.
at a resort in Vegas. People
Right.
are lined up around down the
Like,
hallway.
how many people do you think were there? Like, doing what you're doing, trying to taste the different ones, so that way they can kind of get an idea.
I want to say at this one, probably about 350.
Okay.
So it wasn't overly packed,
Hmm. That's nice though.
but it was a
But
good
it was
event.
still, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good event. There was some lines that we're standing in the line waiting a good 5, 6, 7 minutes
Hmm.
just to get up there
Yeah.
to try a pour. So it was. I mean, it was good. Yes, Widow Jane 10 is stellar, and for a 10-year-old, and you can get the Widow Jane 10 for right at about $100. That is just a great buy. Um, Breckenridge, nothing really stood out to me on that one. Uh, I,
Were Minutemen there?
what's that?
Minutemen.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope, Minutemen wasn't there. Um, I'm having to go through
Okay.
this.
Angels Envy or Penelope. Like,
No,
my comforts that I would,
and that's just the thing. I mean, your big name bourbons
hmm,
that we know of.
yeah.
I mean, George Dickel,
Hmm.
George Dickel there, and their Dickel and Leopold collaboration rye was exceptional.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
we talked about Johnny Walker. Heaven's
Hmm.
Door was. I mean, Heaven Hill was out there. Heaven's Door was out there.
Hmm.
Crown Royal was there.
Wow. Okay.
Bullet
Oh,
Bullet
bullet. Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
But the big ones outside of
Hmm.
Jack Daniels, when it comes to the bourbon world, the bourbon side of things, it was more of the craft distilleries,
Yeah.
the smaller distilleries than the big main ones. Buffalo Trace wasn't there. Um,
But I kind of like that because it kind of gives exposure to something for you to, and it gives you an opportunity to something that to try that may not be in your area that you haven't heard of. So it's exposure for them and their name. So I think I like that.
I I do too. Now I was kind of disappointed that a lot of the big name scotches that were there last year weren't there this year.
Oh, okay.
And so where last year we had a 42-year-old Ben Romack Scotch.
Mm-hmm.
That I think the oldest one that was there was a 21-year-old.
Oh wow,
Uh,
that's like a huge difference, a vast
yeah.
amount of difference in that.
So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the offerings that they brought,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the offerings that they brought last year had more of an impact than than this year's, is what Joe says. Because Joe goes to the Chicago one
Mm-hmm.
every and he says the
Yeah.
Chicago event was also toned down from last year, and that's absolutely the case. Doesn't make it bad, but
Yeah.
when you come with a certain expectation, I was hoping to see
Kind of
a
like the same.
yes something that had
Mm-hmm.
that kind of memory building to it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't know why they toned it down, but here's the thing: when you hold an event like this in Vegas, it's not
Mm-hmm.
just the event.
Right.
It's the whole experience in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
everything put all together. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, by the time 9 o'clock came, I had probably the equivalency of 18, 19, 20 ounces of alcohol
Yeah.
in a 9 hour time span.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
That
And
that's
the thing is I'm giving you a hard time because you didn't eat, but in the reality, when you're at these events, I kind of want to, bring that to light too. When you're at these events, you're rushing and you're going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And like they have the food like way in the back. Like, I mean, at least that's how it was at PCA. The food was way back there. And you're like, okay, I'll get to it when something gets closer, but you're going and you don't really have a concept of time either because you
yeah.
don't have windows. There's like nothing to kind of give you any time unless you're looking down at your clock. So I mean, I think that's kind of like another thing is like you get in there and then the time goes by so fast you don't realize. You're like, dude, I just
Oh,
got here, you
well,
know.
and you add to that the fact that this is in a casino.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you're right. There's no windows. It's all bright lights. They're
Yep.
pumping in, pretty much pure
Oxygen.
oxygen.
Yep.
Now they were smart. The food wasn't in the back. The food was in the middle.
Okay, that's good.
You had to walk around the buffet, some of the buffets, to get to some of the booths.
Okay.
Yeah,
But at least that's good that they did that.
they brought out some nice vegetable plates and some
Mhm.
really good roast beef. I mean, the food was really good. It was right up there with the quality of pours. It's a very well put on event.
Mhm.
Just from the way they run it, when you've got a lot of people that want to come in and try a bunch of
Mhm.
different pours, spirits, and get their drink on, they the tickets aren't cheap. It's 275. I think it's 275, 300. No, 350 for the VIP, and
Mhm.
275 for the regular ticket. For the general
Yeah.
admission. So it's
So people want to get what they pay for.
and they do. I would say they absolutely get what they pay for. It's 100% because there's so much that you get to try
Yeah.
there that unless you are in the business,
Mhm.
this is the way you make your living, or this is what you do. Like what we
Mhm.
do. There's a lot of things that you would never ever get to see. You would never ever get
Yeah.
to try.
Right. And I think that's pretty cool that that's out there for people to have that opportunity. And that's why I was kind of saying, like, especially when it's like the smaller boutiques, people you may not have heard of, or it's difficult to get in your area because of that, or they won't ship to your area because there's some states, that I can get bourbon and we can get it shipped, but there's also some other areas where we can't get bourbon shipped to us. from that state. So I think that's kind of an opportunity to try it then, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Tell you what, let's take a pause real quick because we've
Hmm.
got some good events and some good news to bring up.
Hmm.
So let's jump over to the segment that I tried to start us off with. So what you got, Red?
Events. Okay. So the first big event that I want to talk about is, well, there's a couple. And people, please send us your events so we can talk about them and advertise them, because most of the events are in this area. And that's because that's what I'm getting and I know. But a couple of ones. This Friday at Renegade, they're having Ash Patel. His event, he'll be out there and it starts at 7, Renegade. It's December the 8th. And I think it's a VIP ticket. So call the shop for that. And that's Renegade Cigars. Another one is this Friday at the UG is Time Out Cigars in Ohana and 262. We've had them on the show. We've had 262. We've had Time Out. And then we had at PCA, we interviewed Ohana. So there's an event at the Underground this Friday. And then we also have, which I'm excited about, like I get to go to, is the ladies. There's a ladies cigar group that I'm a part of, and we go out to different brick and mortars and we hang out and we smoke cigars. And we drink whiskeys and scotches and wines and cocktails and smoke cigars and talk about cigars. And sometimes like we have lessons and sometimes we have a guest speaker. So it is Tuesday, and it starts at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and it's at Lake Worth Cigars, and that's one of my favorite brick and mortars. The humidor at Lake Worth is just like crazy insane. I mean, it's just one of the biggest humidors with one of the most stocked. Uh, and I will be there, and so I'm excited about that. And then we also have on the 16th at the Underground with Greg Free, an event that we will be there. And that starts at 6 p.m. and it goes to 9. But I have a feeling that we'll be there later because that always happens. And so we'll be there. And and I'll let you, I'm going to segue that so you can go into the news portion.
Well, so after the Greg Free event, the Fuerte
Mm-hmm.
Libre event on the 16th,
Mm-hmm.
Leaf and Grain is going to back that up with the launch party of the first issue of our magazine.
Woo, woo, woo. It's my party
Now,
mode.
it will be available to download on our website on December
Mm-hmm.
15th. So make sure you go to head out to our website on the 15th to download it. I will not send it to you. None of us will send it to you because we want
Don't
you to
ask.
download it because we need to be able to track how many people are downloading. Why do we need to be able to track that? Well, we've given out thousands of dollars worth of advertisements to go out in this first issue. And I want
Yeah.
to be able to come back to them and say, you guys got exposure to 2,000 people
XYZ.
downloading it and looking at this. This is what we're charging for advertisement. Do you want to come back with it, and pay for advertising to help fund for all
Yeah.
of this? So yeah, to build that up on it. Um, in the industry news, we're going to jump over to the cigar side first because this one is one that I'm kind of excited about. That I'm sure that our good friend and one of our writers, Chris Coulter, is going to be excited about. Atabey, which is a luxury line of
Ooh.
cigars.
Yeah, I
Very good,
like Advent.
very good cigars. Luxury line. We
Hmm.
call them luxury line because they're in that $20 plus range.
And it's
Well,
worth the $20. I'm just going to say that.
absolutely worth the 20 bucks. Plus, I mean, I've spent $35 on an Atabay cigar and did not regret it at all. I mean, it's
Hmm.
just a phenomenal stick.
Yeah.
Distributed by United Cigars, and we've had United Cigars on the
Hmm.
show. Well,
Yes, we
they
have.
have opened up their first lounge in Phoenix, Arizona, an
That
Atabay
wow.
Cigar Lounge in collaboration with United Cigars out in Phoenix. So that has happened. Um, Another really cool thing is that, and I'm going to kind of tiptoe around this because we
I'm
have a
going to
featured
see how you
article on
tiptoe.
Adventura in our magazine, but Adventura has
It's in
just
there.
recently opened up their new
Mhm.
factory in
Yeah.
Nicaragua.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I knew that news back in, oh my goodness, like I think it was August. I found
I
out
was
that
gonna, I
news.
was gonna say, yeah, you and I talked about that in like July, August, September timeframe when
Yeah.
we started talking about the magazine and started putting ideas around what we
Yeah.
wanted to put in there.
Yeah. And and my thing is like sometimes we're privy to information and we can't release it, we can't say it. And like a lot of people were sitting there because they know like Adventure and they were saying some stuff and they're like, man, I wonder if they're ever going to do this and do that. And I mean, I have to look like, well, I don't know. I have to act like the devil's advocate, like I don't know shit when we actually know shit. And then, and it's so funny because then they message me and I'm like, yeah, remember when we had that conversation? I knew it. And they're like, why
I,
didn't you tell me? Because I can't.
I can't tell you how many press releases that we'll get in, and it'll say not for immediate release.
Hmm.
You
And
know,
we
and
have to hold on to it.
then I'll have a release date on that. So yeah, it was. I mean, it's a tough business to have to hold on to some of this information.
Yeah.
Another one I'm excited to announce because I never heard of this brand until we got the press release from them.
Hmm.
And this is from Wolf Spirits Puncher's Chance Bourbon, and they have announced. Now get this. I have not heard of Wolf Spirits Puncher's Chance,
Yeah.
but they announced their fifth release in their award-winning portfolio of fine whiskeys. Puncher's Chance, the Unified Belt, is a limited release, a three-cask blend of fine bourbon and Irish whiskey. And this is serving up as a follow-up to Puncher's Chance, the undisputed bourbon, which won a platinum medal and Best in Show second runner-up at the TAG Awards last year.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow. Because in tag, I'm just going to say this. I mean, I don't know everything like Graybeard and Joe here, when it comes to my whiskey. But tag is like a big thing.
tag is a big
Tag is
tag is a
huge.
big thing.
So that's
Tag is
not that's not like a whiskey award. I'm just
no,
going to say that.
the Tag Awards is right up there with the whiskey spirit the World Spirits competition that
Yeah.
happens every year out in San Francisco, and and you see brands like like one of our favorite brands, Milam and Green.
Hmm.
Uh, Milam and Green has won a number of World Spirit competitions out in San Francisco, and you see they'll have like the Gold Award and the Platinum Award and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So this is not a small thing,
No, this is huge.
in that. And of course the big news: keep your eyes out. December 15th.
December 15th. That's like less than like hold on, let me math for a minute. That's like less than 9 days.
It's
Oh,
it's a week from Friday.
yeah.
A week from Friday. There's our good friend, the number. Merry Christmas to you, brother Wade. Uh,
Yay!
we have got a review of the number, and
What? You have a review of an like of something?
we've
Like
got a
a
review
tool?
of the number,
Like a
and
tool?
and an interview with with Bill Wade himself.
Aw, I love Mr. Bill Wade. He's
That that's
awesome.
that's that's going to be in the magazine. I mean, we keep talking about it. We're so excited about this. Uh, should we tell who's the cover?
Well, they've already seen the cover, so yeah, I don't mind telling who the cover is.
I got to tell you what, the interview that Terry Lynn Fott did with Al McAuliffe himself for the cover piece, and it is not your typical. What's your favorite cigar? When did you get into
Yeah,
cigars? How did you do this? Why did you do this? You know, typical cigar interview. She
yeah,
went outside the box
and I love it.
on it and bit of history too. So great piece.
And I'm gonna say, I just kind of want to segue into that. I'm having issues with my band, and I'm so sorry. Normally, I don't have any difficulties with my band, but I do kind of want to say this that I think a lot of our stuff on this magazine is outside the box, you know,
Oh,
and
a lot of
so
it is.
a lot of it is, and so I'm excited because it's not going to be your typical thing, and we didn't want a typical one because there's so many that are exactly the same format where you just kind of like, oh, it's another cigar magazine. Oh, it's another whiskey one. Oh, it's another da da da. So I'm excited that we we all went outside the box. So I'm pretty stoked. Hey, Matt
So
Spiceman.
that we've got food recipes. We've got two cocktail recipes, and these are not cocktail recipes that you can find anywhere. Um, our good friend Gabe, who's sitting right over here next to me,
Gabe.
he came up with his rendition of the billionaire cocktail, and we're calling it the Spice Billionaire. So if you want to know what the Spice Billionaire, you're gonna have to get the recipe from there. Our own Ash Red has a recipe from her smoke recipe, and Matt Harris, our partner, we love him dearly. He has got two recipes that he's partnered up with a couple of other chefs, and we have
Oh,
permission
wow.
to produce their recipes on our magazine. And I'm
That's
telling
pretty
you,
cool.
working on this partnership with a group of chefs in his circle for a long time, and it has gone through the battles to make sure that everything, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And
Hmm.
so he's got two amazing recipes that he's partnered up with two chefs out there that are going to be posted on there. Our Every single one of our reviews, I love this is what the number says. Magazine will be more personal than commercial. Absolutely,
Hmm.
because our cigar reviews isn't here's a picture of the cigar, here's the blend, and here's the score. No, we're going into carrying you through each of the different parts of the cigar, the first third, second third, final third, pre visual and pre draw, our score, why we scored it, and what is something that's unique and special about the brand or the cigar itself.
Hmm.
So every single one of them is a story, and that's with the wines and the whiskeys and the coffees. We have got a shop stop of a coffee shop here in Fort Worth that David Jeffries, our friend and who's a barista, wrote up for us. And you can go out to the website and see other reviews that he's done on different coffees. Just bam, out of this world, great, great coffees, great reviews. And this one is on the shop stop of a coffee shop here in Fort Worth. So
That's very cool.
if you guys have your favorite bar, tavern, tasting room, lounge that you want to put into consideration to be featured in the magazine, let us know. Hit us up on it. Our next issue will come out around the March 15th time frame.
Hmm.
Would love to feature your shop with it. And you want to write it up, we'll put you up as a guest contributing author
Hmm.
on it.
And here's the cool thing, which is kind of like we already have our cover for the next two magazines. The next two magazines, we already have the cover for, like our cover. And that's kind of like, insane to think that we've already thought about our next two magazines that are coming out in the cover. And I'm just gonna say the next two covers, I mean, this one was big, and people are like, how are you gonna top that? But the next, like, our covers are gonna be like insane. So I
I,
just
I
wanted to say that.
I am so excited about this. We're going to be doing this quarterly, last month of each quarter, around the middle of the month. So March 15th, June 15th, September 15th, December 15th. That's the time frame. If we can get enough traction, you guys download them, send them to, send them your connections out to everybody to get them to download it.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal is by this time next year to not be talking about a digital version, but a printed version and opening
Yeah.
up subscriptions so that you can actually hold it in your hand. We're putting a lot of work into all of these. Yes, the release party is September 15th. So if you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, come to where I am right now, the underground. It'll be from 7 till when we're done.
Yeah, when we're done partying.
When we're done partying,
And we like to party.
and we'll be bringing out wines and whiskeys
Shoot.
for, for,
And
for
maybe
this
some
fall,
beers.
and,
Never know.
and
And maybe some beers.
and maybe some beers.
Some stout.
Absolutely.
Never know.
Okay, so would love to hear about Graybeards and Ash's personal passions.
Our personal passions.
Hmm. Um. All right. So before we get to that, Matt says December. You mean December? Q3 ends in September. So that's what I mean by the September. So each quarter Q. This is the Q4 or the
Mm-hmm.
fall winter. So the summer
Yeah.
fall edition will be September. Spring summer edition will be in June, and the winter spring issue will be in March.
Yeah.
So March, June, September, and December. Those four issues. So December issue next year is what we're shooting for
Mm-hmm.
our
Paper.
printed version. Opening up subscriptions. But in order for us to do that, we need advertisers. And in order for us to get advertisers, we need people to download.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it will be blowing up.
So open up. Do you guys have any questions about Whiskey Fest? Questions about anything that we've been talking about? If you want to know about my pairing on the Blackened and Blackened, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go to the whiskey-network.net at the end of this month to find out what I mean, what I feel about this pairing. I will not be
Mm-hmm.
doing we're not doing a final verdict tonight. One, because I'm not going to be doing a verdict on this one, and Red and I are exhausted.
Yeah. But I have to say, we look pretty good for being exhausted. And we sound pretty sane for being
Well,
exhausted, too.
I appreciate that. You always look good, but for the fact that you included me in on that, I'm like going, all right.
Yeah. In our little beanies. Someone said that they loved our beanies.
If you guys want the beanies, let us
Thank
know.
you.
We'll make them available again.
Yeah, if
Uh,
you'd like it. I've got to get my hoodie. Like my favorite, most comfy hoodie that I have is our leaf and grain. And it's like I I think I'm missing like a couple boxes. I think some of my boxes like ran away, or they might be in the storage shed. I'm wondering if my uh cigar like for the show box is in there. And I started thinking, I was like, maybe it could be in there because we had some boxes. Um, so I think I need to have to go look in the storage area unit to see if that might be there. I didn't think about it until just now, you know, but like I was sitting there looking for my leaf and grain hoodie because it is like literally the most like my kid stole it. My kid was trying to wear it to work to her school, and I'm like, maybe you can't, just. And she's like, they don't know what leaf and grain is, and I'm just like, well, just in case, I don't want to have to go to your school and pick you up and have you, wear something else because it is extreme comfort, very very comfortable. So I'll
Yeah,
just
I
say
don't
that.
even own one of those.
You don't have a leaf and grain hoodie?
Nope.
Dang.
I may have to open that part back up of the shop so I can order one myself.
Because that thing is comfy.
So Joe mentions that the Whiskey Fest Chicago 22 and 23 reviews are up at whiskey.network.net as well in the Sips and Stogie section under the lifestyle drop down. Uh, Absolutely, go check his write ups.
Yeah,
Um, he has done some really good write ups.
very entertaining.
Oh yeah,
That's
oh yeah,
what I like about it. He's very, and let me tell you, like, I think it's when it's different. And Joe, you can testify for this. I think it's like we've spoken like through this text messages and things, but I think it's like when you meet people in real life, it's like completely different than versus reality. Um, and like I mean, I knew he was a cool cat to begin with and fun to hang out, but when we met up in Chicago at Biggs, I mean, the time flew by too fast. He's probably said, no, it flew by too slow. But like we had a great time. So but he's very entertaining. Yeah.
I haven't even got to meet Joe in person yet.
I know. Like I was excited because we do exist. Yeah, it is. It is funny because I do have a funny story that I kind of want to bring up. So it's like in education world, I'm somebody different. I mean, I still have the bright red hair. I still wear the makeup, and yes, I do wear fishnets to school. Um, Someone asked me, they're like, "Do you just only wear fishnets to cigar lounge?" No, I actually wear them to work. Um, with an appropriate fitting dress. Um, but one of I haven't had AC in my office since shoot, I want to say September, right? And I haven't had heat or anything. And I actually finally got it fixed this week. And it was so funny because like you see someone and you know them, but you don't know where you know them from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of our AC guys who was like, "Yeah, I follow you on Instagram." And he finally figured
Oh
it
my
out.
goodness.
And you talk about that blush, like him getting blushed, just like really red, and just like ran out the office. Yeah, we do exist in real life. Some people don't think it. And here's the crazy thing: a lot of people think I'm catfishing them. That I really don't look like this in real life. They think that I'm using a filter or something. No, this is it. This
I
is what you
can
see
tell you that this is what she looks like.
in reality. I don't do the filters. I don't do the filters on my photos and stuff like that. There's sometimes I look older because I'm exhausted, but a lot of times, a lot of people think I'm a male posing as a woman. I'm using a woman's face and pictures, and I don't know the video with all the AI stuff. So I think I think that's so funny because he's like, we do exist. Yes, we do exist. So I just thought I
We
would
do exist.
throw that
So
in there.
I got a funny story to tell you. So
Yes.
this is Sunday, and we go back out to Spirits and Spice, and
Everything
buy
nice.
some, and everything nice. Spirits and Spice, and we Sharon and I we buy some different liqueurs, and we get to the airport about 4 o'clock, and we sit in this restaurant, and these two guys, really cool. I mean, cool cats is a great way to describe them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, 100%
Oh.
weight. She has
Oh,
she's
thank you.
beautiful, beautiful
Thank
woman.
y'all. You're
In
gonna make me
person.
blush.
Good. So so these guys are sitting there with the table, one table down from us, and they're drinking shots of uh, Jose Cuervo 1800 tequila, and they're shooting it, and I look over there, and I'm like, you guys need to be, you don't need to shoot those. And he's like, man, I don't shoot the I don't I shoot tequila, but I don't shoot whiskey. I'm all about whiskey. And so Sharon goes, well, this guy's a whiskey writer, and he's a sommelier in it. The little guy, I'm calling him the little guy
The
because
little guy.
he's a little guy, little
Yeah.
Asian, little Asian guy that has a voice that's twice the size of him.
It's a
And he's
deep
like,
voice, like how I sound in the morning.
I mean, he's just
Oh, going. Okay.
going. I mean, wearing me out, because, so much energy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh man, you're into whiskey. You write about whiskeys. I bet you can tell. Man, I need to know. Shakes my hand and then gets over, walks over to my table and gives me a hug.
Aw.
And we're talking with him for like the next 45 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Sharon and I are sitting down in our seats on the plane, and it's a full plane, and here comes these two guys walking right by us.
That's funny.
He goes, I give him my card, and he goes, I'm going to call you. I said, no. You can text me.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow me. You can text me, but don't call me. And he's like, dude, not, because I don't answer phone numbers that I don't know. Let me give you. We can connect through social media, and and great people. I mean, great guys, but it's really cool the different people that you meet. But a couple of cool cats.
Yeah.
This guy had so much energy. I have no idea
He
how
can give it to me because I like so I'm not getting that energy. I wish I need it. But and that's another thing is like it was funny because like this last week at work I had like over 23 hours worth of meetings, just 23 hours meetings. Then you have to prep for those and it takes about 2 hours.
That's it, folks. We're done. There's for the parents. There's something for everyone. Good night. We love you.
So and going in and like there was one I went out with one place I went out to one and I was hidden back behind kind of hidden in the shadows because there's sometimes that I just want to be hidden in the shadows and smoke and just chill. There was a couple of nights that I had that, and then another one was I walk in and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I follow you," and and it's always cool and fun to meet the followers. That's something that's like I always enjoy, but the reaction sometimes like it cracks me up. But I was at. I want to tell you this. If you are at is it Del Frisco Grill in Fort Worth? Del something Grill in Fort Worth.
Del
You know what I'm
Frisco,
talking
yeah.
about? Yeah, Del Frisco Grill. Second level, or I think it's the second level, has a bar. They have a smoked Manhattan, and it's a smoked winter Manhattan. Like they do a vanilla bean with it,
Interesting.
and nutmeg and some other stuff. And anyway, so I'm sitting there and enjoying it, and and a lot of ladies around. I know I'm not the typical woman, and that's okay. I don't want to be the typical woman, but other women are drinking, cocktails and stuff, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, was she having it something smoked?" And I told them, But first of all, the vanilla bean and the rye in this was phenomenal. But it was so funny because like the bartender was, she kind of was like, oh, asking what I did and everything, and I told her about Leaf and Grain, and she's like, I can't wait to go home and watch these episodes of it. So that was really cool. And then other people were sitting there were like, well, she knows what she's talking about. I think I'm going to order that drink too. So they sold a little bit more. But the presentation, you have something that smokes and looks cool, and then they're asking, is it good? And they're like, okay, she actually knows her stuff a little bit. Then it comes to a little bit. Okay, it's not just like a one of those. She actually knows what she's talking about, so you kind of get a little more respect on that area, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, oh! I sent you the picture of this cocktail that Sharon had, and it was at the Gatsby's.
Oh yes.
Okay, so she
Are you
wanted
able
to.
to bring it up? Are you able to
Uh,
bring those pictures up? I mean, I was
uh,
gonna.
yeah, so why I'm going to get this picture to where I can bring it up
Share
to
it.
to,
Yeah,
to
I'm sorry.
show.
I'm like waited last minute. Like, hey, can you bring those pictures up?
So um, yeah, let me.
Okay, and then like Joe's gonna have to help me. Scotch. Saturday night. Well, first I went to I think it was Mercury Shop Steakhouse in Fort Worth. Ate some steak that was mooing still, blue steak, love it, as rare as I can get it. Then I had some Colombian red wine with that. I don't remember what it was, but it was really good. And then I had this scotch that was to die for. Do y'all remember what that scotch was? It was just like, it was dangerous. It's the kind of scotch that you seriously need to have somebody pour it, and you need to hide the bottle because you could finish the entire bottle because it was so stinking smooth. It was phenomenal. And I know that I think Joe knew what it was, so if he can kind of help me out. But that was phenomenal.
All right, so let me. I'm going to change this over to here. I'm going to present this.
See, I'm so glad he's the techie person.
Give me just a minute here.
Yeah. So if anyone remembers, and if anyone finds a second generation AirPod, you know,
All
it's
right,
mine.
can you guys see this? Okay, okay, so you.
Is
All
that
right,
milk? I didn't notice the milk next to it.
all right. So it's not milk. It's a Bailey's Irish cream
Oh, that's the
with
one.
with a
Mm,
it's a Bailey's Irish cream with a vodka and something else. So
vanilla
I'm
vodka.
drinking an old fashioned here, which is a
Mm-hmm.
blend of a couple of different whiskeys, two different whiskeys that's used in the blend. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect crystal clear ice ball, but she brings out the waitress brings out. So there's marshmallows and chocolate chips that's down in this area right here.
Yeah.
Okay,
It looks
this
like
is
a dessert.
this is a chocolate lined waffle cone, and she pours this Irish cream, this cocktail, into the waffle cone. I apologize for the noise of the train going on behind me, but
It is what it is.
yeah, this is what happens when you're exhausted, when you're operating on 2 hours of sleep, where you forget some of your shit that you need to bring. Last 2 weeks ago, I forgot my power cord, and by the time we got here, I'm frantically trying to switch over to my phone. But we're both looking at this, wondering, okay, I thought you ordered a drink, not a dessert.
Yeah, because it
This,
looks like a dessert.
this drink is called the Sweet Drinks.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I was like,
It's called Sweet Dreams. So she pours this inside the drink or inside the cone, and then obviously you sip on it through the straw
Hmm.
of it, and you get the infusion of the chocolate. You throw the marshmallows in there. I mean, it's like you're drinking an alcoholic version of a chocolate s'more. One of the
And go ahead.
one of the most unique drinks I've ever
Hmm.
seen.
I think I might have to like recreate something like that,
I
you
was
know.
hoping that you would say that.
Ah, damn.
I was
Yeah.
hoping that you would say that. Now, you do that. We just got to make sure that
Measure my shit because I don't measure, you
well,
know.
you got to measure it, and you got to give me the recipe.
Like and it's so funny because like growing up, there's this phenomenal caramel pie, caramel pie that my um, caramel cheesecake pie that my great aunt would make, or my great great aunt would make. And my mom and I were after her for years for the recipe because it was so freaking amazing. And then so she sends us the recipe. She writes it down. There's no time, no measurements or whatever. So my mom and I call her and we're like, "Hey, how long do we do this?" And she goes, "How long do we put it in the oven?" We start off with the easiest one, right? And she goes, "Well, I put it in the oven at 350, and then I walk to the bedroom and I walk over here and then I put a couple things away and then I walk back. And then it's time to lower the heat of the oven. And then during that time I do this and this." And we're like, "Okay, but how long does that take you?" And she's like, "I don't know. I've never timed it." It was her little ritual, and I have turned into her because I don't do that. Like my kids will call me for a recipe, and they'll be like, "Mom, how much do I put in this? How much?" And I'm like, "Baby, I don't know until it looks right." And they get so mad at me. Hi, Whiskey Network. And they get so mad at me because they don't know how much I put in there. And yeah, so you might have to come over and just watch and write it.
Or you could talk to our good friend and partner Matt of like,
Mhm.
okay, give me a trick on how it is that you could get all these measurements wrote down.
Just let me
So Whiskey Network, our good friends,
know. Hmm.
our partners in all that we do and all of this. We share
Support each
stuff with
other.
them.
It's
We
beautiful. It's a
support each
support
other.
thing.
So hey there, good to see you.
Hmm.
I wanted to share another one. There's this restaurant there called Wally's, and
Yes.
this is a wine. This is a wine restaurant, and
Oh, I would have enjoyed that. Mm-mm-mm.
charcuterie, pizza, stuff like this. So let me show you this here,
He's gonna make me hungry. I haven't eaten one.
because I've got to talk about some of the wines.
Yeah, you
Uh,
haven't mentioned any of the wines.
this wine bar here, I started going through the wine
Mhm.
menu.
Is that like a pizza?
This is a pizza. No, it's not
Okay.
broken. They cut it in half. It is a Parmesan spinach with a
Oh,
different kind of cheese and red onion.
cheddar.
She's drinking. She's drinking a Grand Cru rosé,
Hmm.
and I'm drinking a Chianti, a Tuscan Chianti. So
Ooh.
both of these glasses here were
Hmm.
$20 each.
Yeah.
Now the menu itself of the wines that they have wines that I've never seen. Actually, had a sommelier bring us our wines and tell us about our wines and what we're
See,
drinking.
I like that.
I mean, it was. up class,
Mhm.
very, very nice.
Mhm.
A bottle that I wanted to see if they absolutely had, and it was a 1975 Chateau Lafite Rothschild.
Oh, wow.
Now, if
Look
you
at
know your
that.
wines
That's a
and you
big
know
deal.
about a Rothschild, you know that this is a Bordeaux that is sought after. The
Yeah.
bottle that they sell there, retail, there at the wine shop, and you can bring your own wine there while
Oh,
you're
wow.
at the hotel, and they will store it for you.
Oh, look at that. That's
They
cool.
they will store it for you. That Rothschild, 1975 Rothschild, sells for $4,800.
Mm.
Just
Just pocket change, right?
yeah, yeah. I was like, nope, not doing that. But it was just so neat. And then we walked through, and I mean, and there's thousands of bottles just all
Mhm.
over inside the restaurant itself. We sat out on the patio,
Mhm.
but walking through, and I mean, you just sort of looking at just really what would be a history of the wine world in
Yeah.
there, in actual bottles of it. That $4,000 bottle of wine
Mhm.
was on the cheaper end. There was bottles of wines
Wow.
up into the five figures, 10, 15, $20,000 that they had there.
That's
It
just
was
insane.
it was unreal. It was so cool to see.
So
Uh,
Joe answered my question for me on what I was drinking. So thank you, Joe.
the Glenmorangie Forest.
Mhm.
That is a very, very good one.
Yeah, it was very it was phenomenal. Like I was like, oh my, like the thing is like because it there's like none of that you know scotch and wine or scotch and whiskeys kind of have sometimes have that alcohol taste. It was as smooth as anything and dangerous because I was like, I can have another one. I can have another one. I can have another one. No, Red couldn't have another one.
So Joe says he recently had a Glenmorangie Tokyo.
Oh,
Amazing. Um, it is it finished in that Mezzanura cask, Joe? I'm curious about that because that's one thing
yeah.
that was kind of unique about
Hmm.
this whiskey fest is that so many different expressions that were available there were finished in the Mizunara cask, which is
Hmm.
a Japanese. It's like a
Goodness.
Japanese oak,
Hmm.
which is really cool
Hmm.
and just offers some really unique flavors in your whiskey. So if you ever get a chance to try one, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend. I know that for a lot of people that events like these, are expensive. I mean, you go to
Hmm.
Vegas, you're going to be spending a couple of $1,000s, not just
Hmm.
that, but because you're in
Yeah,
Vegas,
hotel, flying there,
hotel, food,
food. It's expensive. It's expensive.
but it is 100% absolutely
Worth
worth
it.
going and
And experience
experiencing.
it.
It is a true experience. This is my second one. This is something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
Last
Yeah.
year's and this year's, and looking forward to being able to do this
E-
again for
Even
all of
though
our.
he had a billion ounces of whiskey and alcohol.
But don't pull a gray beard. Have a bit more to eat.
Yeah. But I think it's difficult because you know what's available and you have a limited time and you want to make sure you get the bang for your buck. So I completely get that 100%. At least take protein bars or something that you can snack on.
And when you go to do this, yeah, Mizunura bourbon and sherry casks. Wow, so it's a
Hmm.
triple. It's a triple cast
Oh, wow.
finish.
It's a bougie. That's all I'm going to
So, do you want to announce our guest for next week?
say. Yes, I do. Okay. Here's the thing is there our guest next week is Chantel. and she is with Bella Damas Cigars.
Belladama
Bella Damas
cigars.
Cigars, right? And I mean, first of all, like she is beyond gorgeous. Like, it's kind of like we've done a podcast together, and I look pale. Like, I mean, I'm just like a wallflower compared to her because she's just absolutely beyond gorgeous. Then on top of that, she is probably one of the most sweetest women in this industry. She is one of those people who encourages. I mean, she encourages everybody. Not, I mean, but she is particularly encouraging of other women because sometimes when you get in this industry, and I'm not going on a woman power trip, but I'm just stating the facts that other women, and it's the reality because this is how most women are. We don't want anyone prettier than us. We don't want anyone smarter than us. We want to be top. Women are very competitive in that, especially appearances. But she is, helping, the most encouragement person. And she's like helping you adjust your crown while she's adjusting her crown. She is just absolutely amazing. Cigars are spectacular. I mean, yeah, just look at her. I mean, just absolutely beyond gorgeous, beyond gorgeous. And she is funny as fuck too. So you have the two of us together. Chris is like, yes, yes, yes. So the two of us together, Great Beard, like I don't even know if you're gonna get a word in edgewise between the two of us.
I
You
don't
have
know that I'm going to want to because I'm just going to be sitting there, trying to hold my composure of being on screen with two amazingly beautiful women. And I got to tell you, I've already had the opportunity of smoking some of her cigars, and they're great cigars. We did a
mm-hmm. You
David
did it
Scout.
on, yeah. Uh-huh.
We did a recording of a review of her cigar. Never having smoked a cigar, he smoked the King, I smoked the
Mm-hmm.
Queen, and he came in at a 93 for the King. I came in at a 94 for the Queen, just smoking it right there, on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a special edition of it.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman, amazing woman,
Yeah.
amazing cigars, and we're going to leave it at that. Because if you want to know anything more,
You're I'm just gonna say December the 15th, you're just gonna have, well, you're gonna have to tune into the show. Then you're also gonna have to, so we're gonna have to be careful not to like how we question and do things because we don't want to give like the article, the spotlight feature away. But like, here's my thing. And it's kind of like Chris Coulter said, she has energy. She is, I mean, she's just on the go. She and I have a lot of mutual friends. And it's funny, our mutual friends are more men. Like we hang out with the same type of guys, She's good friends with Greg, Greg Freeman. So I think that, for me, I'm super excited, super stoked because just her energy and her personality. I mean, it's you can have a gorgeous woman, and you can have a smart woman, but if you don't have a woman that's beautiful on the inside and she's ugly on the inside, those other things you don't give a fuck about. I mean, just to
well,
be to be
I'll tell
honest.
you, as a guy, you know, as a good man, it doesn't matter how beautiful she is on the outside. If
Mm-hmm.
she's not if she doesn't have good, strong character, integrity. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say a grace about her, but
Mm-hmm.
you know where I'm coming at.
Yeah.
With grace about her, a strong woman that has all of that and has a grace and a amount of an
Mm-hmm.
aura of elegance around
Yeah.
her. And that has
She has
nothing to
that.
do with how she dresses,
Right.
but it's how she presents herself.
Right.
And just from talking with Chantel, back and forth and chat messages,
Mm-hmm.
as preparing for the show and we're preparing, for the article and all of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
she carries herself in that
Yeah.
way.
She does.
Uh,
She's regal. she's regal.
Yes,
She's
absolutely,
very
absolutely,
regal.
100%.
Yeah.
She's and so she's going to be on the show next week, Wednesday.
Hmm.
So come in and find out about her,
Yeah.
and then read about her in the magazine on
Yeah.
December 15th.
Yeah.
And I got to be careful because I don't want to say anything. They're cigars. So
Yeah.
you buy her sample pack. It's called a buying in.
Hmm.
You buy in and you get poker
You get to be a
chips.
part of her club. Yeah,
You
poker
get to be part of
chips.
her club.
Yeah.
You get a royal flush of her cigars.
Yeah. Oh, good
And
night.
good night, Number. Thanks for tuning in, brother. But that's coming up next week. We've been
Hmm.
talking a lot about the magazine. You're going to see a
Hmm.
lot more coming up about it. Please let everybody know that you
Please.
come out. If you follow us and you love what we're doing, what all of Leaf and Grain, and it's not just Ash
Hmm.
Red and myself and Matt. It's Chris, it's Gabe, it's Terry, it
Hmm.
is David Jeffries, it's Joe,
It's the
it's
people across the pond.
yes, it's Steve across the
Steve
pond.
across the pond. Yeah.
It is so many beautiful people
Behind the
that are
scenes.
helping
Hmm.
us and have been helping us with everything about all of this, not just the magazine, but everything with Leaf
Hmm.
and Grain and the Twisted Pair. Zach Gowdy, the Cigar Traveler, so many people support
Hmm.
what Red and I and Matt are doing. Matt's our behind the scenes guy.
Hmm.
You know, he's been doing it. He's been really supporting us, especially as of late with
Hmm.
helping us get all of this got because there is a massive amount
Hmm.
of work, not just into the show, but in putting in the magazine and
Hmm.
everything, keeping Leap and Green going on a
Yeah.
day to day basis. And we can't thank this entire our team enough.
And here's my thing is like, reflection, because that we're coming to the end of the year. It's Christmas. Um, Everyone gets busy. This is a busy time. You know, the cool thing is, the amazing thing is like when we started this, I did a live on Pichardo's cigars about Luciano. You went and did a live. I can't remember what it was, because this was like over 2 years ago.
It's
And
almost three
it's
now.
almost 3 years ago. Yeah. And, starting out and doing this, you know, I don't, I know we didn't expect it to get this big. I mean, I know for a fact I didn't expect it, like, and no offense. I mean, we had goals and we had like a 10-year, 3-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, seven, all those plans. But, you never know when you're starting something out if it's really going to happen, especially when there's so many different, you know, websites out there that you can go to, so many different podcasts you can listen to, so many magazines you can read, so many people that go to events and different things, and you don't know how well it's going to go, and then it blows up bigger than what we ever imagined, and then to have the support of people like this weekend I forgot to shout out. I went to go see Bruce, at Addison this weekend, and that was one of I visited cigar shops like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Um, it was nice to get back out, even though I've been under the weather and I've been exhausted. It was kind of what my soul needed, um, to take a break from life and reality and just kind of do what I needed to do. Um, but to have the people that are coming into town, and there's more than just us as influencers in this community. There's more than us that are just podcasters, and there's this in DFW. There's a lot of them. But the fact that they reach out and invite us and say, "Hey, I'd love to break bread with you," or "I'd love to just hug your neck," or "Can I come to you?" It's pretty dadgum amazing to sit there and be a part of it, and it's just like, and I know we say this a lot. Each show it keeps growing, and we keep getting there, and it's so humbling. That's the only word I can think of. It's surreal is like the
It
only thing I can think of. And
it really is.
yeah,
It's
so it's beautiful.
when you're walking down the street in your
Hmm.
own hometown
Hmm.
and people recognize you that you don't know is
Yeah.
one thing. But
Yeah.
when you're walking into a lounge or you're walking into a bar,
Hmm.
because I walked into a bar,
Hmm. In a different state.
and, you know,
Yeah.
in a completely different state, and somebody comes up
Hmm.
and sits down next to you and hands you a cigar and says, "Here, I wanted to give you this. I wanted your thoughts on this." And you look over
Hmm.
at the person and it's like, "Do I know you?" And he goes, I follow you.
Hmm.
You know, I follow you on Instagram. I've seen your show and such, and you know, and they come back and say it's an honor to get the chance to meet you, and I'm
Hmm.
coming back and going, are
Holy
you
fuck.
kidding me? The honor
Yeah.
is on me that
Hmm.
you would even want my opinion on something, you know,
Hmm.
and that you actually tune in to
Care.
what we do.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
one of the things that Red and I do, and I share with the team, is after every show we look to see, you know, how many people tuned in.
Hmm.
You know, and even when I see, you know, we've got shows, you know, where it's like we've got, you know, where it looked like we had one or two people, you know, or three or
Hmm.
four people, and I come back and I see that 120 people tuned in throughout the night.
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah. It's insane.
it's mind boggling. I don't understand it. I appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
so excited about it, and very much humbled,
Yeah.
very much humbled by it. And when people come to you and say, we want to support you, we want to work with
Hmm.
you, we want to help you continue growing. So
And that's the part is like, and we say this and we kind of sound like a broken record, but and we put it in every DevGum post, it seems like. But please follow us. Follow Leaf and Grain. Follow Graybeard. Follow me. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook because, like, Meta is in charge of Instagram and Facebook, and they are heavy on Facebook. The numbers on Facebook. So yes, you follow us on Instagram, but please click and follow us on Facebook as well. So
yes,
that
yes,
helps us out big time. It does, to continue to do what we're doing.
and reach. You know, if your favorite show is disappearing on YouTube, because a lot of shows are disappearing on YouTube,
Hmm.
reach out to YouTube. You know, reach out. You know, make your voice known that
Hmm.
you want this back. You
Hmm.
want your favorite show to come back. Your
Yeah.
favorite, you know, because
Episode. Hmm.
we are in the tobacco industry, and that's why Red and I are so very careful about what we say, so that we don't get hit on that.
Hmm.
Some people that I love very dearly are
They
getting
have,
hit hard.
and they're huge, 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 huge,
Yeah,
huge. Yeah.
they're it's uh, only we can stop. You know, we can turn the tables
Hmm.
on that. You know, and there may be a day where we have to, you know, go to a different streaming channel,
Platform. Yeah.
a different platform. And if that time comes, that time comes. You can
Hmm.
always watch our show directly from our website
Yeah.
as well. Um, you know, so all of these things, everybody across the industry, all of the media across the industry is doing things to try to help improve what
Hmm.
we're presenting, but trying to make sure that what we are doing is sustained
Hmm.
out there on the platforms so that people can come back and see it.
Right.
And one of the things that helps that is to see the numbers. YouTube is not going to shut down people that have a lot of subscribers that
Mm-mm.
could, because that's, you know, that's how they make their
That
money.
that's how, yeah, that's the reality of it. It's not us making it up. It's the reality. is because of the numbers. And so please, you know, please do it because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We each are on those different platforms, you know, personally. So it's Ash Red. You can't. It's Ash Red all the way through. That's it.
It's just Graybeard on all of them. I mean, I could put just Graybeard in front of it, but I mean, everybody knows me as Graybeard. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's that help us keep what we're doing, keep going by
Mm-hmm.
hitting the likes, hitting the subscribes,
Mm-hmm.
hitting the notifications, follow, go to our Facebook page, not just our
Mm-hmm.
Facebook group, but our
Our
Facebook
pages.
page, and
Yeah. That's
hit like and follow. Go out to
yeah.
our YouTube channel and subscribe. Please, that's going to help us out right now more than anything. And go out to our website and don't just open it up, but actually read what all
Read
of our
it.
great authors are writing about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I loved the beer pieces. You know that were
Oh,
done. You know,
the
by
beer
Susan.
pieces,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
wine pieces that Terry's
Mm-hmm.
doing, the
Yeah.
coffee pieces that David's doing.
Yeah. They're all phenomenal. I mean, it's not. It's really interesting and fun to read, and you get to learn new stuff. And
And
there's so much out in this industry, and all of those. So you never know what you're going to learn.
and our platform is the only one that brings all of it
Mm-hmm.
together in one.
Yeah, all of it. Totally.
That's what sets us apart.
Yeah.
Did I get that head?
Holy crap! Yes, you did. Yeah,
All right.
he
Well,
got it. He did good job.
we've got a couple of exhausted
Yeah.
people on here right
Yeah.
now. We love you guys. December
It's not
15th.
working. There it goes.
There it goes.
Okay.
No balloons tonight. That's interesting.
I know for either of. Well, you're not on your phone. No balloons.
No,
Yay!
no balloons. Still don't know how we got the balloons.
I don't know. We know how we get the hearts though.
Next week, next week we've got
Oh. Go.
I have
Go.
got
Okay.
I have got about 4 or 5 people request for us to bring back our audio versions of this to our
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. I meant to tell you. I seriously had about like 8 people this last weekend ask, just for real. And I've I forgot to tell you.
Well,
So.
I've had a number of people ask
Mhm.
me as well. So that will come.
Just be patient.
Just be patient. It will
Graybeard's
come.
only one person.
That's right. I'm only one person. I'm trying to do a lot right now. My main focus is get this magazine
His baby.
done and going. You know,
You need a pet name for the magazine. You need to come up with a pet baby name, like a pet name for it. So whenever we talk about the magazine, it's just not the magazine.
yeah.
Yeah.
But next week, Chantel Belladama magazine next week. If you're in the DFW area, let's fill
Hi.
Underground up for the launch party. And
Come meet us.
Come meet us. And if
I
all
promise
goes
I'm not
right,
catfishing.
if all goes right, I will have a surprise for everybody out there. But until next time, as you always hear us say, explore the pairings.
There's something for everyone. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
I feel like I get to do hearts.